You're watching Around the Bay Sports live on YouTube. Please like and subscribe, and please follow us on Instagram. And here are your hosts.
I'm Amon.
I'm Drew.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Jesse. And we are
Around
The
Bay
Sports. We got a great show for you today. We got playoffs, not only in the NFL, but in college football also. We had some great games over this past weekend.
Yeah,
Now
totally.
let's get started. We're going to start with college first. First, we have the Fiesta Bowl between Miami and Ole Miss. I thought the officiating in that game was not the greatest. They missed a bunch of calls. What do you guys think of the game?
Yeah.
Overall, that's still one hell of a bowl game.
Yeah.
Even though the way it ended, sure. But in all toss-ups, I mean, refs just, sure, they can just perfectly be blinded, or they just see like they're pretty much going after the ball altogether. So, yeah. I mean, you could call that a Hail Mary, but that was a hell of a performance. Mississippi put up a fight. It's just Miami got that speed. I mean, there's been moments where Mississippi could have gotten some stops, but they got some speed. You can't get anything wrong with that. I mean, Sure, it was all set for Miami to at least host a championship game. You could say that, but overall, heck, Mississippi could have won that. So, hell of a game. Props to Miami. We'll see what happens in the championship.
Yeah, they're gonna get killed in the championship. I'm just telling you right now.
We'll see.
What I gotta say about this, like I watched the game. This seemed like it was kind of a one-sided officiating. I mean, some of the calls that they missed, and especially there was this one play at the end where he does like kind of like a Hail Mary, but there was like a clear pass interference, and the refs didn't call it. It was like blatant as like it was just like the most obvious thing he could have called, and I'm not saying the refs gambled in that, but I mean, Miami got what they wanted. The championship game is in Miami. This is pretty much going to be a home game for them. And I mean, this is like just, as a Notre Dame fan, this is just worst case scenario.
I wouldn't be too sure that it's a home game, though, because did you see how Indiana showed up in Georgia?
Yeah, but I mean, it is in like, the game's literally in Miami.
Yeah, like Indiana will fill at least a good 50.
Yeah,
the
stadium's going to be majority orange, probably.
Of course.
And I mean, it's just, God, Mendoza. You're the last hope of college football, man. You're like the actual last hope, especially for me, because I mean, you're like the little brother to Notre Dame and all that stuff. And by the way, shout out to Notre Dame because they're doing what they're doing. The portal is like absolutely insane. But please win the championship against Miami.
Drew,
for me,
your thoughts?
Aussie, we also kind of talk about the Aussies call at the end, but overall, it was a great game. Like Amon said, it was a great environment. I mean, it could go either way. The game could go either way. It's just that Miami, like Amon said, Miami just they wanted more, and they got a bunch of dudes who got speed, but shout out to Ole Miss. They put a hell of effort, especially the QB. Sucks that he had to end his career like that. If you guys don't know, his eligibility got waived.
Yeah, I was about to share that. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I don't know if I've seen this before. Where literally the NCAA vetoed his transfer. So now I don't know if he's an NFL prospect, but if he is, he has no choice but to declare.
Yeah. And if he is, then someone's going to take a major gamble on him, or he's probably going to go undrafted because he's only played like 1 year in Division I. Because all the other times he was playing, I think, Division II.
Division II, yeah. Ferris State. So shout out to Chambliss. That's QB name. And but shout out to Carson Beck for dealing with a UCL elbow injury that he's dealing with last year. So, I mean, great for him. But like Jack said, It's a home game for Miami.
He's
Even-
also an NFL prospect.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be 50-50 because do you know what Indiana fans, what their alumni mostly majored in at that university?
What's that?
business.
Business. So they
Business.
have money to
Mhm.
spend to go.
Yeah, you know what?
Miami for that game.
That's fair. That is absolutely 100% fair.
That's why they won the best
I don't-
business school
And
in
then I
the
know
country.
Michael Irvin does this whole spank thing, but I'm like,
Oh,
honestly,
BTA, the whole BTA thing.
yeah, like that whole thing. I'm like, dude, y'all escaped. Pretty much. Sure, Ohio State, you can do that. But with Mississippi, I mean, honestly, and I remember like he said, we're going home.
But yeah, but it's pretty much a home game for Miami.
Yeah, just about.
Just about. But we'll talk about the
It'll be 50-50. At least 50-50.
Indiana, Miami is not that far of a flight. Not too far.
yeah.
They're all traveling.
Sorry, we're burying the lead here. Let's talk about the second game. Let's talk about the Peach Bowl now.
What about it?
Between
Oh, yeah.
Oregon and Indiana.
The big
Like what about it? Because honestly, the first game was the most impactful, and usually when you get too excited, then usually the other thing just dies off. You know, we want to let it be exciting, but usually that's not how it goes.
No. That game was exciting because Indiana has done something to two teams that see themselves as being something in college football. These are football schools in Oregon and in Alabama. And they basically said, we're going to take the ball from you. We're going to sack your quarterback. And we're going to score a touchdown in the process with our Heisman winning quarterback.
Yeah, basically Mendoza came in. He's like, "Oh, I thought you guys were something. Y'all ain't shit."
Exactly. That's not coming from Mendoza, though. That's coming from Signetti. He's like,
Yeah,
this is your.
Danny was getting mad when they were up by 40.
50.
Well, like as Juan said before, and he actually explained why he doesn't smile.
Yeah,
too.
this coach
He actually
scarcely
explained
reminds
that.
me of me. Like the
Yeah,
coach
that's-
reminds me because I'm not satisfied. Because usually when I would do fantasy football, I'm not satisfied until I make sure that it's at 100%. I don't
Like,
care if it's
pretty
at 99, at 98. It's got to be at 100.
Pretty much, he sums it up. I'm like pretty much saying like if he shows like happiness to his team, that's where maybe pretty much they will fault because he's seeing their coach all happy and giddy. So if he shows his temp, if he shows his
The mean face.
yeah, then they know they got to keep going.
Got
They-
locked in. You got to
Locked
stay
in.
locked in.
Yeah.
Speaking of blocking,
Yeah, Indiana has looked great this entire postseason run, starting at the Big Ten championship against Ohio State. I believe that they broke Ohio State to where they couldn't do anything in their playoff matchup.
Yeah,
Let's
I
not
think-
forget for the first game to play, it was a pick six. That was
Yes.
insane.
That set the tone right there.
Yeah, you always want to start off with first blood, and when you start with first blood like that takes all the energy out of the other team.
And Mendoza with 5 touchdown passes in that game. And everybody saying, well, most of them were at the 1 yard. Then like, hey, I know quarterbacks that can't throw a touchdown pass. Geno Smith from the 1 yard line. Kenny Pickett.
or any
Also.
quarterback.
Sorry, I think I need some water.
Yeah, you're good.
Might be the Modelo.
No. Well, we don't drink Modelo here. We don't drink beer. It's not a sponsor yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, what do you guys think of this national championship matchup?
I just feel like, yeah, Indiana could throw the sledgehammer and crush Miami, but I feel like it's going to get pretty close.
no,
Yeah.
Indiana's going to win by 3 touchdowns.
No, I think it's going to be more of a defensive game, but I do think Indiana's going to win.
Yeah, Indiana's going to win, but Miami's going to put up a fight that, who knows, we'll see. I mean, Indiana's a machine, but this Miami team could put up with their coach. I know he doesn't make the same faces, but you can see how he does with his team. So
I just don't believe in Carson Beck. I don't. I know he won with Georgia and everything. He's won two
Twice.
national championships.
You won twice,
right?
yeah. I was gonna say.
I still don't believe that was him though as the quarterback because I saw
Yeah,
him.
one of them. He was the backup.
Yeah, exactly. He was the backup quarterback in one of the games. I'm not
Spencer
buying
Benson.
the hype of Carson Beck. Is I guess what I'm saying.
You're
I
buying
think
that.
no, I'm not
That's what
buying
you're
into it. I think that he's a. I think he's a. Since he's coming out, obviously this draft, I think he's a 4th rounder at best at quarterback.
Okay, who did he get drafted by?
That I don't. Some team that's looking for a backup quarterback. I'm not sure what team that is.
Oh, the Georgia quarterback. I think it wasn't like the Colts or something.
It's gonna be to see
What was that?
with the Colts.
I wonder if that was a Colts QB.
Yeah. Oh, the Colts might look at him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's going to be close.
Yeah, but Indiana's gonna win. I don't think it's gonna
Yes.
be close. Though. I think people can be shocked by Woodman.
Do you want to just take a scenario if it doesn't happen?
if what doesn't happen.
Let's just say if Indiana doesn't win it.
Oh no, Indiana's gonna win.
Let's just have a scenario.
If they don't, then
Doesn't win it.
I still think that they had a hell of a season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Miami was just better that day.
Because they're already preparing for the future.
Yes, because Indiana, for I think as long as they've existed, really, they've never really been this
Well-
competitive in football.
Will not be shocked if they lose. If they lose, we're not going to be shocked.
I'm not going to be shocked. I don't think it's going to happen though.
All right.
Because it's football. Anything could happen. Heck, somehow the Raiders beat the Patriots, and
The sheet.
I'm not counting that Chiefs win because that was not against Mahomes. That was not the Chiefs at their best.
Lost for Pete Carroll, pretty much.
Yes.
Repeat.
All right, let's move on to the NFL now. We have some playoff games to talk about.
Whoo-wee.
Oh, I miss being in the playoffs or even thinking about the playoffs.
You still get about 2021, buddy.
That was horrible still. All right, let's start with yesterday's game, the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Texans and Steelers.
I gotta tell you, Aaron Rodgers had a great career, but if he still chooses to keep going, then I mean, he can do whatever he wants. But it's just what the Texans did to him, absolutely insane. And I picked the Texans to win that game. I thought the Texans had the better defense. And
Facts.
that Sheldon Jenkins guy, I think his name is, I'm not sure. He is the first player, I think the first defense tackle in NFL history to record a sack and to recover a fumble for a touchdown. The first guy to do that in NFL history. And he made Aaron Rodgers look like an actual old man holding a cane on that field.
But why that Aaron Rodgers got sacked a bunch of those times? He looked like Justin Herbert getting sacked.
Yeah,
And,
Herbert got beat up this too.
but yeah, we'll talk about that game in a second. Amon, what did you think of it? Or were you still recovering?
Well, I just feel like at least if it ends, as me as a Packer fan and pretty much anyone's childhood player, it's just a good farewell. I wish he could keep going, maybe just do one more. But the way that second half went, the defense helped, but for him, he just, I don't know. I never really seen so much faults and opportunities that usually he strikes. Yes, there were some big throws that maybe should have been caught that Rodgers had open. But, overall, it's just, not the performance I expected from him. But, yeah, I mean, because, heck, the Texans offense is even bad as well. It was just all about that defense. Honestly.
That was an old-fashioned playoff defensive game. And I thought it was boring, but because I have to say for most of the game, the defense didn't really look that dominant. The teams just didn't know how to operate on offense.
Pretty much. You figure Rodgers, I feel like maybe Rodgers went playoff mode too early on the Ravens to win a division, and then he comes over.
Oh, he had to go playoff mode.
Well, he had to go playoff mode.
Oh, he had to.
But it felt like trying to go taking into this game, it's
But sadly, something did come out of this after the game. We learned earlier today that Mike Tomlin is out. He stepped down on his role as head coach of the Steelers. I to be honest, I didn't think he was going to leave. I thought that they were going to keep him for another year, try to rebuild it with Kyler Murray
Like
or Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis would have done great in that system.
like I so think of all the history that he did. This will be the fourth time the Steelers have to look for a head coach. They had Tomlin for that many years. Got him a Super Bowl, but
appeared in another one.
Yeah, appeared in another one. I just feel like if you look at his resume, he's done enough. And the way this NFL has been, it's like you kind of have to look for new ways, you could say.
No losing season either.
Again, they didn't fire him. He left.
Well, he left because he felt like, after that, it just felt like instead of the Pittsburgh crowd yelling at him, he's making the decision for him to step down and hopefully for a new chapter in Pittsburgh.
Now, again, since he did step down and he wasn't fired, it's going to be hard for him to find a new job this year, I think, because a team would have to trade for him in order to get him.
Also the thing is, he did say that he does not intend on coaching for next year.
Yeah, I don't think I just feel like he's taking a break or maybe done completely.
Yeah, I think he'll be back eventually. He's just, I think maybe he might take a year off and then they work out a trade.
Well, usually when people take a year off, we learn 6 weeks in the new year he gets picked up, and it's like, oh, why don't you take a year off?
No, Sean Payton did. He took a year off, and then look at him now. Now he's in my division, and I hate it.
One of the most overrated best teams in the NFL.
They're overrated, but they have a really good head coach. That's all I have to say.
Sean Payton's a good coach. I mean, he did well with Breeze, and now he's doing pretty well with Bo Nix.
Now let's talk about what I'm going to call the most boring game out of this entire playoff weekend, and that is the Chargers and the Patriots. How these games were Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football, I don't understand. These games were horrible.
Two of the worst games were main event games.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Those were horrible to watch.
The Patriots defense played lights out in that game. They played very well, even though in spite of being without one of the best defenders, Christian Gonzalez, who's a defensive back. But Herbert that game, there's some of the hits that he took when he was either just running the ball or getting sacked. He just took a beating pretty much all game. And the thing about Herbert is he's 0-3 in this playoff games. He has not won a single playoff game, so he has got to figure himself out, or his recruit got crazy. And the other important thing is he got sacked 6 times.
6 times, yeah.
He got sacked 6 times Drake May, he got sacked 5 times, but this was more just a defensive game. But at the end, Hunter Henry, he scores a touchdown against his former team that drafted him in the Chargers. And Stephon Diggs only had 2 catches for 16 yards. So this was a snooze fest game.
Oh, I didn't know that he was still on the team. I thought that it was off because of the allegations.
He's still playing.
I think Herbert might be just way too overpraised.
See, I don't think that's on Herbert though. That's
not on Herbert, but I feel like the fans and maybe people like me being a Herbert fan, because I feel like for his capabilities in this league and with Harbaugh's experience, it just felt like I thought there might be something now because they tried, beforehand that didn't work out really well. But with Harbaugh, you figure there's going to be something. But now I don't know if he's just because people might say, "Oh, he's overrated." He's not overrated. I think we're just praising him too much, thinking
he doesn't have an offensive line. Without an offensive line, you don't have a functional offense.
One of his best tackles, Joe Alt, he had a season-ending injury. And also the thing is, Herbert fumbled twice, and one of them, he lost, and another offensive guy recovered. So it's just Herbert's if Herbert can get a better offensive line and a really good receiver and like his running back like rotation doesn't get injured, then with Najee Harris returning for next season, maybe they can be more promising. But I mean, even if that was the case, the Broncos will still win the division next year anyway. And I mean, if Herbert's going to keep losing playoff games, then I might need to talk about if the Chargers need to make a move, like at their quarterback spot.
No, I think he's
No,
again.
no.
You can't judge him because he has a horrible offensive line. In the regular season, he was sacked 60 times this season.
Yeah, because
6
all
more in
those
the
guys can
playoffs.
get hurt. But I mean, it's just
It's not Herbert, as Jesse kept
It's not
saying.
his fault.
It's not
did
Herbert.
did he have a bad like O line in all of his other playoff games?
They've never had an elite offensive line. He's had to do everything himself, always, in every playoff game that he's been in. The game against the Texans, that was on the defense, not on him. He put up 30 points in the first half. The defense just gave that game away. Their coach should have, their coach, who I always hated with them, should have been fired then, but they gave him another year for whatever reason, and he still sucked. I believe he was on the 49ers last year also.
The Chargers got some things to think about this offseason.
Yeah, they
They
need to
didn't
spend
blew
money
a
on
game
an
against the
offensive line.
Jaguars too.
Again, that's the game I was talking about. That wasn't on him. That was his defense. He put up 30 points in the first half. His defense gave that away, though, easy in the second half
True.
because of Brandon Staley. I believe, yeah, that's what I was saying. I believe he was on the Niners last year. He was like a special assistant to whoever their defensive coordinator was. But yeah, now let's move on to the more entertaining games of the weekend.
Like, what's funny of how this playoff season goes, it's like, epicness. And it's like, all right, let's just, like, cool it down.
Boring.
Honestly.
I think next we could go to
Yeah,
Bills and Jaguars.
Running.
Sorry, what was that?
It's like number interception. Apparently, Justin Herbert is number fourth in the league in most interceptions now.
We're talking about this season or just overall?
Talking about this regular season. It was Justin Herbert, Sam Darnold, Tua, and Geno are the four worst.
I have to ask, who is like his number one receiver that he throws to?
Probably Keenan Allen or Ladd McConkey.
Keenan Allen.
And, no, what's
Ladd
the other guy?
McConkey.
Quinn Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think that they have good offensive wide receivers for him either. So how is he supposed
Yeah,
to?
but Ladd McConkey's a good receiver.
McConkey just I mean, I've had him on my fantasy team on Yahoo. I mean, there's a lot of talks about him having pretty much getting a lot of catches this year. So who knows? If Allen retires, he could be maybe a receiver one or two unless they make moves.
All right, let's move to the Bills versus the Jaguars. I thought this game was really good. Josh Allen putting the team on his back at the end of the game to win it with a QB sneak that somehow went for an extra 5 to 6 yards for the touchdown. What did you guys think of the game?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. I think like the key factor in like this game besides Josh Allen, honestly, it was mainly the defense. The defense forced, like, they got a sack. They forced 2 interceptions, and one of them being the game-winning interception. And I just feel like, and they had, 3 tackles for a loss in the game as well. While the Jaguars, they're also really good defensively. They've been good all year. They only had 1 tackle for a loss. So when the Bills needed to make critical plays, the defense was there. So give all credit to Josh Allen because he's definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now, and all the credit to the defense as well.
I mean, like we said, like Josh Allen, this is your moment for that. At least for that franchise that's been through hell when it comes to these moments.
Yeah, one of the most cursed teams in America.
This is their window. I mean, we'll see where it ends, but they need to get this game. It was a close one. It was a good competition. There was a lot of talks. Maybe the Jags will just not blow them out, but at least just make them one and done. And Josh Allen going on as being Superman or doing a tush push that could have went all the way down the field. And yeah, I mean, this is the game. One down. They got the Broncos. We'll get to that. But yeah,
Another defensive game. Yeah, defense best team, but let's talk about that.
All right. Now let's move to Rams versus Panthers. Drew, what did you think of this game?
It was pretty. I think all of us had the Rams winning this game. Um,
but let's
yeah,
let's
Let's-
just give a round of applause.
a lot of brought to Carolina for the season they just had.
At all. I thought it was going to be a blowout, especially how it started 14-0, I believe.
I think it was 14-0, and then I think Master was on fire the first 2 or 3 drives, and then after he injured his fingers, it's kind of low side, and then Panthers end up capitalizing, and it kind of reminds of what happened last time they faced each other, where they went to the last second, but this time the Rams got it. So, but no, credit to Carolina for for having a good season. So, despite being 8-9.
Yeah.
What do you think of mine? Or Jack? Sorry.
No,
Jack.
no, I'm on. You can go ahead.
This is the Panther. Yeah, like as I thought, like I think you know what? It's not the team. It's that crowd. Think of it. That team. Let's just go back to the CMC Cam Newton times. Like that's how far back this goes. To the time they had it, like a deep run. They got to the Super Bowl, ran into Peyton Manning's Broncos. But like I think at least Cam Newton, for example, it's like he helped that fan base grew because it was sellout. I mean, it was as loud as probably anybody has ever heard it. Like that was that fan base helping that young team out, especially with their young quarterback. And heck, Bryce Young, he's starting to look a little promising. Yes, he is small as like Doug Flutie, but it's something's happening. We'll see where it carries out. But right now, as you know, his option got picked up because heck, he got into the postseason for the first time in that many years. And heck, winning
that
the
2015
division.
run.
Yeah, winning the division. So it's like heck of a game. Yeah, he played well enough to keep the team in the fight, and the defense did what they could. But with that Rams, you got Stafford, you got Nakua, a lot of firepower, and yeah, Panthers, you made the right. What a draft pick with that receiver from Arizona. He's starting to become something.
Trip.
Sure, he might not win Rookie of the Year, but I think that's your receiver. I think there's your little duo there when it comes to QB to receiver. But props to the Panthers. I mean, the future is starting to get bright with Bryce.
Yep. That's the first time that I've seen him look like the first overall pick in the draft. So far, I was thinking, okay, this is a bust so far. But this year, he proved himself really well. All right, let's move to the main event games for us. The weekend.
Wait, you're good. What about the Niners?
No, I mean I'm saying
sorry,
like
main event games.
Okay.
I'm saying like I didn't talk about the Rams.
Oh, sorry, Jack.
I was just watching this game and I'm like, yeah, there's just no way the Panthers are just going to win this game. The Rams are gonna blow them out. Like one point it got to like 17-7, and then it was starting to get near the end of the first half, and then all of a sudden the Panthers score a touchdown, and like I was like, okay, they have a chance. And then there was like later in the game, like got an interception, I think, or two. And Stafford was struggling because his finger was like all messed up.
Yeah.
And like I thought the Panthers were gonna legitimately win this game. Like if they had won, I can't tell you the amount of happiness I would have felt if the Rams had lost that game. To the
I mean, it would be.
That would have been considered to be one of the greatest upsets in NFL history. Because people have the Rams going to the Super Bowl. But I don't know. But I don't know how they're going to be doing their next game because they're not used to that kind of weather. But this is promising for the Panthers. They shouldn't look at this as like a negative. They should look at this as a positive.
Positive. Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about the 49ers. They had a good game.
You guys sound a little doubtful with your Niners.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was very skeptical because, like, the Eagles, they rested all their guys in their last game. Like Jalen Hurts was out, AJ Brown was out, Saquon Barkley, their entire defense, like everything. And like the Niners went to Philadelphia, like in a tough environment.
Hostile.
The entire NFL world was against them. Like even some like Niner fans were doubtful, including myself, that I'll admit.
Mm-hmm.
And they just went into Philadelphia. And like the first thing I noticed was before the game, they were getting into a little altercation with some of the Eagles players, like talking some smack. And the Niners backed it up, and McCaffrey scored 2 touchdowns, and Jawan Jennings had a crazy passing touchdown, which
trick play.
was definitely the play. But that's his second, I think, passing touchdown since he passed it to McCaffrey in the last Super Bowl against Kansas City. And that a win like that feels amazing, and I was like in tears and shaking after that game because my God, I just never felt that kind of emotion. It was only the first round of the playoffs. It wasn't even like going to the Super Bowl or winning a Super Bowl. It was just the first round. And now they got a tough game ahead of them, and Fred Warner is back in practice.
He won't play this week, but they said that he will play next week if they move on.
Yeah, if they move on. If they move on, honestly, if our Seattle, if Fred Warner does somehow come back, like I know he's probably not going to play, but if for somehow he says, nah, you know what, I'm going to play, screw it. If he does that, if I were a Seahawks fan, I'd say a prayer or two before the night before the game.
Could I just mention something before we get to Amon and Drew's take? In order to make it to the Super Bowl, more than likely, actually not more than likely, but they have to go through teams that they lost to in the NFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They lost to the Eagles. Now they have to play against Seattle, and I think the Rams are going to win this next game.
I don't know. Playing the Windy City is not so easy, and the
oh no,
it's like I heard the Rams are favored to win and all that, but the Rams are typically not good in cold weather, especially like Chicago when it's in January.
They practically almost beat the Eagles. It took almost a miracle for the Eagles to win.
I mean, like the Packers, they're used to that. I know their result because like they play in that kind of weather like all the time in like December and January.
And Philly too.
And in Philadelphia
it's not really an advantage for them though. I hate to say it, but
sometimes there is a human factor.
Yes. But
like,
we're going to get to that game later, but I think in order for the Rams to win that game, they have to kill them early. They have to make it to where it's an unbearable comeback to where it cannot be close in the fourth quarter. That's all I have to say.
You can't let the Iceman like force a comeback.
You cannot have it be close in the fourth quarter. But we'll get to that in a second. Amon, what did you think of the 49ers game?
Well, I was busy. I saw like at least the first most of it at least. But yeah, I mean, Brock Purdy, like, yes, George Kittle, was it another sacrifice for CMC? Maybe so. But it all took...
I think CMC's next, to be honest.
It all took 2 players. And plus the Eagles, you know, like how much commotion is happening with that organization? I mean, crying out loud.
They're a mess.
I saw a post of like AJ Brown being like DK Metcalf in a way, yelling at Sirianni. It's like,
yeah, that was the game.
During the game, because like apparently I didn't know he had 4 drops and he's still mad. So it's like stuff like that takes the team down. And
he yelled, give me the ball, and then when they gave him the ball, he dropped it 4 times.
Yeah, like I just knew the Niners. That's why I know the Niners were going to win because, yeah, it was close. Because of course the Eagles they can score, but it's like that stuff in a way. It's just like it's is so distraught. And yeah, Brock Purdy got his revenge. CMC, healthy CMC, they got a little taste of that, and they couldn't stop him.
This didn't really feel like the revenge game. I feel like the revenge game was 2 years ago when they played them,
Yeah,
and the Niners won.
And guess what? I was at that game when that happened.
You
so
were?
like, heck, I mean,
Yeah, I was in Philadelphia during that game.
I'm happy for Drew and Jack. We'll see about next week.
Yeah, next week's not going to be easy. That's
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy.
Drew, what do you got to say?
Like Jack and I, we were pretty skeptical of the Niners, especially how they played against Seattle, like the form they had. And then obviously, Juwan Jennings, the trick play, amazing call from our offensive coordinator. But Brock Purdy really want to kill my mind at times because how ridiculous his freaking throw, his interception. Oh my god. It almost drove me crazy. Like I almost crashed out. But other than that, he defense set up big time for us. Especially the last play. Shout out to Kendricks for tipping that ball. And but like Jack said, it's not gonna be easy task going next weekend. So
And also, to add another thing, it's like the Eagles were the Super Bowl champions last year, and the Chiefs aren't in. So we're getting an entire new Super Bowl.
Yes,
Niners
I'm excited for that.
The Niners knocked off the defending champions
Yes,
in the
Which I
playoffs
feel like
in their house.
It's not a surprise, honestly.
Do you know, like the last time, like there's no Chiefs, there's no Eagles. There's a complete the team, like the recent team to like win a Super Bowl that is currently still in the playoffs is I think the Rams. Because the Bears haven't won in a long time, the Niners haven't won in a long time, the Seahawks haven't
the
won.
Niners have been in a Super Bowl though.
Yeah, been, but I'm
They've
saying
been in
one.
3.
One. He's saying win. One.
I'm saying 1-1 recently.
There were also consequences in this game, not just losing for the Eagles, but their offensive coordinator, Patullo, got fired.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta tell you that firing of Kevin Patullo was a long time coming because you couldn't really get anything going offensively. You have one of the best running backs who almost broke Eric Dickerson's rushing record, and all of a sudden he could barely scrape 1,000 yards rushing. This honestly, it should have happened a while ago, if you ask me. Though I kind of blame the loss on AJ Brown also because he dropped like key catches, and there was like one where he was like open, and he would have probably scored the touchdown. And the Eagles would have probably won the game.
I agree with that. Also, oh dang, I was going to say something. I'd have thought. Oh, I lost it. Dang it. Okay.
You can talk about when you're talking another game, but yeah.
All right, now let's talk about a game that
it's gonna haunt him on.
For most of us was entertaining.
I would say it was like as I said, this game will be the most viewed because of how it is.
And but the rivalry in the NFC, it's north, right?
North, yeah.
And the north is back between the Bears and the Packers. That game was. I thought that game was going to be a blowout at first. I'm not going to lie. I know that anything can happen in football, but the way that Caleb Williams was playing in the first half, I didn't think they were going to come back.
Sorry to interrupt. One more thing about the Niners game.
Yeah.
During that game, there was 41 million viewers. That is the most watched like Fox, like NFL, like wild card game in like 11 years.
Because it's Brady.
Yeah, because Brady and like there's a lot of people. Like a lot of people love the Eagles and a lot of people love the Niners, and the Eagles were like they're the defending champions. So a lot of other people like also like not only like across the United States, but like also like international, like other countries.
Wait, how many people saw the Packer game?
I am not sure.
Didn't say. Okay.
Well, here,
Also, they had a
Oh, wait, I
24
remember
mile
my thought
wind.
now. I remember my thought now. For the Eagles, this is the 5th year in a row that they're looking for a new offensive
Offensive
coordinator.
coordinator. Yep.
They lost 2 of them
Coaching.
they became head coaches elsewhere. So history shows you're either good enough to where they're going to lose you to become a head coach, or you're bad enough to where they're going to fire you. So it's about 50-50, not finding a good offensive coordinator. But there are former head coaches that would make good candidates, like Mike McDaniel, or yeah, I think Mike.
By the way, the Bears wildcard game, because it was on Amazon, as you guys know, it
Yeah.
had 31.6 million views. That is the most.
In prime.
Let's see, that is the most streamed NFL game ever.
I still hate that game was on Prime. I think it should have been on Fox or NBC.
CBS.
On
Well,
Fox,
gives
been
more
on
people.
NBC,
Like
been
honestly,
on.
I kind of hate that they put it on Prime because, like, there's some people out there that can't even like watch on Amazon Prime. Like they
Yeah,
should they should have it televised where like everyone can watch it.
that's exactly why I don't like it, because I'm like, you're taking it away from
According to
fans
the
that
NFL,
don't.
according to the NFL, it's just they had such a. Apparently, I guess they had a good year, so rewarding with one of these games.
Yep.
Plus, Al Michaels the goat of commentating. So
He was the GOAT. I think he should retire after this season.
I mean,
He's been commentating for like 100 years.
He's actually planning to return.
he's returning next year. So.
Yeah, I think he should retire though. His voice doesn't sound as good as it used to. He doesn't have the same excitement in his voice as
Yeah.
he used to.
NFL, hire me.
Like, I noticed it a few years ago. I'm a little biased, but this was back when the Raiders played on Sunday Night Football and he was on the call in that game. And I heard it and I'm like, and also I feel like he's a completely biased commentator. He's
Chris
known
Collins-
as like,
Chris Collinsworth is the most biased NFL commentator.
I'm not saying most biased, but
He's
I
also-
think he's a biased commentator because he's known as like an anti-Raider person. He doesn't like the Raiders, and the way that he called that last play when we made the field goal to go to the playoffs, it just sounded like it was just a normal moment, like a normal field goal that went in, and not like. I feel like it didn't deliver the moment for me as a fan, and I feel like there's been a lot more of that lately in his calls this year. But yeah, let's move on to the Packer game. Packer versus Bears. The rivalry is back. You have two coaches that do not like each other. I didn't think this game was going to be close. Jack, let's start with you.
Well, this was a very close game, and like when the Packers played in the first half, Amon was like the first person that I reached out to, like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Now this they kind of blow it sometimes, so we'll see what happens." But I mean, it's just like I honestly,
I said great. I see how they could do it holding leads.
Yeah, let's see how they
He's
do
that
it.
before.
And yeah, and I mean, it's just the way Caleb Williams played in like the fourth quarter mainly. He was balling, and the defense was doing their job. And like that Loveland tight end guy, Loveland he's a baller of a tight end. I think next year he could be a top 5 tight end.
Top 5 for sure. Yeah.
And fantasy, I'm definitely a fantasy football pickup next year. But I mean, this whole game is different than Micah Parsons played. Micah Parsons playing, they definitely don't come back, because that was the biggest Bears comeback in their franchise history, and that was the biggest blown lead in Packers history.
Yeah. Drew, what do you think of the game?
Yeah, it was obviously Jack would say it would be a different story if Micah Parsons was in the team, but overall the first half, like we all said, Packer was dominating. They scored every single drive they had in the first half. Second half, iffy. The way they started the second half was iffy, and then Bears defense tying up, and then K-Williams. I mean, Bears they've been known for being good in the fourth quarter, so K-Williams just stepped out when it mattered, and hate to see a fan like Amon have to go through. So, but
Especially
yeah,
your rival team
Oh, Micah didn't play during their matchups.
in both matchups. Well, technically all
All
three of the
three.
matchups.
I know the previous.
I think he played in the first one.
I thought you played the first one.
Yeah, he played the first one.
All right. Let's get to Amon's comment.
Jesse, what's your thoughts?
But yeah,
Oh,
let's
I already said I thought the game was entertaining. I didn't think that they were gonna. I thought the game was over in the first half.
All right.
But yeah, let's get to Amon.
start a pot.
This is either going to be tame, or are we going to see
A
a fully
rant.
unleashed Amon for this? Take it away.
Well, hey guys, you know what? I'm happy for you guys. You know, the Raiders got the #1 pick. The Niners, wasn't I guess easy, but the game, the Niners got the win. I wish Green Bay could do that. Oh yeah, we can't hold leads. Let's start with the pros and cons, though. I don't want to hear any bad talk about Jordan Love. He just had practically an MVP season. That man played with his rest, and he went full elite. The defense, sure, you could say they didn't. It was bound to happen with the fourth quarter because they did all their part. It just happens in the second half. Hey, McManus, if you at least made some of your field goals, we could at least won by a point. But unfortunately, that happened. We've been wanting a kicker since Mason Crosby retired. We had a kicker, but then you replaced with McManus. That guy can't kick. I feel bad for him. He just can't kick anymore. I mean, all you have to do is just score one more time. We were up 21-3. And after all that, as I said, I feel like I had a future. I just know how this is going to pan out. I knew McManus missed that third. I just knew he didn't even have to kick it. I just knew he's going to miss. And he missed. Sure, that first kick, it was windy. Heck, wind takes it. Not a huge deal. But if you're a kicker and that experience, you should at least make some field goals here and there. Got a 44-yard chip shot. Of course you miss. It's just that stuff. Sure, I was on Matt LaFleur, but I heard about the team, and, they support him. I know it's just because what's worse about this loss is because we've seen it before. Yes, this is the postseason. But think of Matt LaFleur in his postseason career. Yes, first year, you got to meet Tom Brady, but you had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, heck, you had Gary, you had, what's his name? Clark. You had the team.
The first year was against the Niners, sorry.
Yeah, the first year was against the Niners.
The Niners, right?
Yes, 2019.
2019.
I just feel like that game, though, was just terrible. But, yeah, the Niners. 1 and 2 seed. That's why I just hate the Niners more. But take that out of the way. Let's just focus on this game. I don't know, I'm getting my thoughts here before I get on a little tangent about the Bears because they're silly. But no, what? Let's just get to it. Let's just go about these Bears. Hey guys, Caleb Williams, heck of a QB, right? I mean, sure, if he wasn't drafted by the Bears, we would have respected him more. Heck, Ben Johnson, good coach, right? Right, guys? You think Ben Johnson, good coach?
Yeah.
Yes.
Took them long enough. The reason I say the Packers and the Vikings felt like more competitive than that team because we've been owning them. It took them this long. Caleb gets drafted, went through 7 coaches and 6 coordinators, and it took them long enough to find an actual combo that can help him. Not only that, think about these Bears, man. They were only reliable since the 80s and 07. 07 was when they faced the Colts in the Super Bowl and lose to Peyton Manning, got his first ring. The 80s. We know about their history. And you want, Jack, you were mentioning about Super Bowl? They just had one. Because no way in hell they're going to win next week. When you face a team like this, when you face any division team, you had your Super Bowl. they have been reliable for the last. They've finally been reliable for the last 19 years, almost 20. And that's going back to the Packers. I'm like, Matt, sure, I'm just going for the coach just because of his postseason. But overall team, we need to know how to finish the games. For crying out loud. Long ago, I know I'm talking about a Thursday night, Monday night game, but just going to the Raiders with Antonio Pierce. They knew how to lock it down when they're up by like 30. You just got to learn how to close out games. We had it. All we needed was just one play, offense or defense. That's all we're asking. That's why, like, it was the Bears. Just beat the Bears. They're crap. They're just finally reliable for once. And I don't know, like Ben Johnson, like Hayden so much. It's like hate on the team. Like, dude, you've been with the Lions for I don't know how for like a short span. I don't even know you know much about this rival. Like this, it's just we had 16 players. Kraft got hurt. Parsons. I mean, the list goes on and on. But here's the good news. Now try take on this team in full strength with Kraft, with Parsons, the whole squad, and see how it happens. Because honestly, the Bears are still the Bears. I don't care. They're still the Bears. They're just finally reliable.
Can I ask, how do you feel now that the rivalry is back between you and the Bears?
I mean, at least finally, that's what I'm saying. Since they're so reliable, now we finally can think of this rival as a rival. Like, it just took them long enough.
I always use the term sleeping giant. I feel like the Bears have been a sleeping giant. Well, they've been in hibernation for years.
They've not been sleeping. So, like, think of all the. I mean, Caleb gets drafted. Look how long, like, it took him, like, how many coaches to figure it out? You know? And it's like.
This is his second head coach.
Second head coach.
Unless you're counting the interim once they fired Eberflus.
I mean, sure, you can add that. But, like throughout time with this rival, Green Bay owned the Bears since Rodgers. And since then, it wasn't much. As after Rodgers retires, the Lions, they purified. Those are the sleeping giants. It just had a window. Now it's slightly closed. We'll see that next year. Then the Vikings, they had Sam Darnold. Like, when I saw those two, it felt more of a rival than the Bears. Yes, you go by history, it's the Bears. Heck, we're right next to each other. We're practically neighbors. Like, gosh. Like, I just thought, as I said before, if you just win this game, because, like, honestly, yeah, I know one of you guys mentioned, like, yeah, they could have been blown out. Heck, I could have expected that. We were in full strength. But did you see how that first half went? Like, we almost pretty much had them. It's just for some reason when we come to second halves, it just falls apart. Like, the defense did everything. It's just fourth quarter, just Caleb had – the Bears took the moment. Like, the Bears didn't do anything.
All right, let's get to next week's matchups now, the divisional round of the playoffs.
Before we do that,
yes.
Okay, do you think I'm overacting?
No.
I mean,
No.
I mean, you're not overreacting. Every Packers fan's pretty much thinking the same thing you are.
Yeah.
I think you're not giving the Bears enough credit.
I'm not.
That's the only thing that I'll say. I don't think you're giving them enough credit for the turnaround.
I think they're just finally reliable.
Because all it takes is, yes, once you have a reliable quarterback, they've never had a quarterback or a reliable coach. Because you can say all you want about Nagy, but I don't think he was a good coach.
Well, I'm just saying props to Caleb. Like, heck of a QB. I just wish he was not on the Bears. I mean, he didn't even want to be a Bear. But, you know, you knew about that.
Yes.
Like, I'm just saying, now they're starting to be reliable. Like, that historic thing hasn't been that for a while.
Yes, I do think it's good that it's back, though, because that is one of the most historic rivals in the NFL.
It's actually the most historic rival.
Yes.
It's
I
the
mean, on
oldest rival.
On the stats, you got Lombardi and got Hayes. Those two guys pretty much began this.
Yeah, and I mean these are like two of some of the oldest NFL teams also.
All right, let's go rapid fire here for next week's divisional round matchups.
Right?
Let's start first with Bills and Broncos. Who are you guys taking that game? I'll start with Jack.
Well, for this game, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos winning this game. I think the defense is going to show up, and they're going to try. They're going to do as much as they can to shut down Josh Allen. And there's also the high altitude for the human factor. Because sometimes that can be a problem for players, and I think Patrick Surtain is going to be the main guy to shut it down.
Actually, wait, I want to share one more thing before we do quick picks. That I meant to share.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Drew, Jesse. I don't know if you knew when you guys were walking out of the bar on that game.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah,
I
we
don't
did
know.
watch the game for
My
that.
dad ran into someone, and the guy wasn't like crazy drunk saying dumb stuff, but he told him saying like let that like something like sinking in, not word by word. But my dad told him, he said the only biggest win you had, 85 and this one. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's end it off here.
But yeah, Amon, who are you taking? Bills and Broncos.
Bills.
Drew?
I'm going Broncos.
I'm going Bills. Not only because I'm a Raider fan, but because the Broncos haven't been here before, really. And actually, they were here last year, and the Bills beat them by a lot last year in the playoffs. So yeah, that's why I'm taking the Bills. I'm going with experience. This is the Bills' year. I think that they will be playing in Levi Stadium in the Super Bowl.
Knock on wood.
All right. Let's keep going.
All right, let's go 49ers Seahawks.
Niners.
You already know my answer.
I'm on.
I'm in Seattle.
I'm going.
That
I'm gonna
defense, man.
I'm gonna go Niners. For selfish reason.
Selfish.
Huh?
I really want the Seahawks offensive coordinator, and I really want that wrapped up by this weekend. So Niners beat them, then he could interview for the Raiders job, and he could become their next head coach. I don't have to wait until after the Super Bowl for that
This
to
year's
happen.
taken.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, if the NFC Championship is between the Rams and the Seahawks,
That would be a good-
I'd rather get the bubonic plague than watch that game.
All right,
I watch
let's
the
go
Puppet Bowl.
let's go to Sunday's matchups. Let's do Texans and Patriots.
That's a
I mean,
good game.
honestly, that game doesn't sound as compelling as we think it should.
It doesn't. I'm not excited about that game at all. But
This
Jack,
is going to be a defensive game, and I'm actually going to go with the Texans to win this game. What the Texans defense did to Aaron Rodgers, they're going to do it to Drake May, who has like no experience, and the Texans also have a great coach in D'Amico Ryans, who's also played in the playoffs. He played with J.J. Watt. So I think the Texans are going to win that game. But it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Drew.
You mentioned the experience. I think Drake May doesn't have experience in these type of games, so I'm gonna say Texans.
I'm on.
Oh, Jesse, what are you going to go with?
I'm gonna go with Texans also.
I'm going to do Patriots.
Okay, we got the one dude.
Oh,
that,
hang on. We got a comment from Mr. Jones here. Great to hear Amon going off. He's absolutely right. Packers just need to close games. Well said.
Thank you.
Facts.
Yeah, good job, Dad.
Last game.
All right.
Sorry, Amon. Who are you taking?
Oh.
Patriots.
He said Patriots.
Okay, Patriots. Now let's
That one
go.
dude. He's that one guy that.
Bears, Rams. Amon, I'm going to start with you.
Rams.
Yeah, who you going with? Let me guess.
Rams.
Rams. Okay.
Drew.
I can't doubt the Bears, but you say experience, right? Rams.
I feel like with them, you can't really count experience because the Packers are an experienced playoff team, and look at what happened. But Jack, who are you taking?
Are you saying they're
This game?
inexperienced?
The
Yeah.
Packers are. I said the Packers are an experienced team in the playoffs.
Who are you going with? Because I'm kind of debating here.
The Rams have also been known to blow leads this year, also. And if this is close in the fourth quarter, I think I have to go with the Bears.
All right, Bears.
Their
Okay.
defense is really good. It steps up in moments, and lately, Matthew Stafford has been known to throw an interception here and there.
Let's see. For me, like I know the Rams are good and they got Stafford and Nakua and Kyron and all those guys, but I don't care. I got the Bears winning this game. None of us, by the way, have said how the Rams struggled against the Panthers team who no one thought they were going to barely score a field goal in that game. I'm surprised none of us had said anything about that. I'm going
I
with the
just
Bears.
feel like it was just the crowd really that helped them.
Yeah, and they're
Also,
gonna do
Stafford getting hurt changed
on
that
the
game
weather.
completely.
Yeah, and also, yeah, exactly. When you hear your finger, that changed the game.
Yeah, that
Like,
changed the game.
honestly,
Stafford hurt his finger.
Yeah, I mean, their access came out negative, but like Stafford isn't going to be like 100%. He's also an old man too.
Yes. A really good old man. Not that,
Yeah.
huh?
He's an old man that needs to be put down.
But all right, folks. Any final thoughts before we close out?
They're still set.
Fred Warner, come back and play, please.
Drew, any final thoughts?
Seattle's a great defense. I'm just worried about how we execute on offense. I just don't want that same thing happen 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'll pray.
All right, everybody. That is our show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week. Remember to like and subscribe and to follow us on Instagram.
Please.